In 2019, a trio of dumbasses were sent to RC prison for the crime of bad-mouthing Stock Buggy and E-Truggy. These men promptly escaped the Facebook jails to a new social haven of Podbean to safely spew their garbage without any listeners. Wanted by JQ, they survive as soldiers of Nitro. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them beyond iTunes, then you should listen to the Track Walk RC Podcast.
You guys looking for drivers?
Give me the day! Just give me the day! Just give me what I want till it hurts! Just give me the day! Give me the day! Let's take it to the top and watch it burn! Yeah!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Track Walk RC Podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us here tonight. This is episode number 20. Big landmark for us, 20 weeks in. Also, we just crested 4,000 listens all time for the podcast. So thank you guys so much for your support. We are beside ourselves. We never thought that, it would go this far. So we were absolutely thrilled and can't thank everyone enough. My name is Travis Kendall. As you guys may know, if this is your first listen, we are also here with co-host Colin Branch and Jeff Keaton. Tonight, we have a special guest for everybody, though. We have Mr. Tony Newland from Klinik RC and Action Distribution. Tony, how you doing tonight?
Fantastic. How's it going?
Pretty damn good, I'd say.
Nice.
So for anyone who might not know who you are, what you're about, what Klinik's about, and what Action is now doing, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do.
So just an RC dude, long-time RC dude, and worked in various places throughout the industry, from distributors to manufacturers, retail shops, you name it, over the years, off and on. So sort of well-rounded, I would say, a little bit of everything. And a couple of years ago, I had an idea to start a small little company just making stuff for Schumacher cars specifically to start with, and it took off pretty well. So Klinik's done pretty well, grown insanely. And then I just had an opportunity to partner up with LRP and bring LRP back to the United States. So, that's it in a nutshell, pretty much. That's the short version. So, just awesome. plugging away. Everything, every minute of the day is filled with something to do now. That's for sure. So, but
all right, well, that's kind of boring. So we got to liven this up a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of. So first of all, Travis, I'm a little pissed right now. Like, we're not even 5 minutes into the podcast, and I'm pissed. When the hell did I get demoted? You put me below Colin. That's a problem.
I brought this shit up the first time that we talked about this, where I said I was going to have to alternate to keep the peace, because I know that this is going to be a topic of conversation every time that I list you guys off. So
okay, well, I gave Colin his due last week when I didn't even come on the show, so that he could have all the limelight. Now I'm back, my name goes on top. That's just how it works. Come on now.
You got to show up first, man.
I know, right? So anyway, we got to liven this thing up, because Tony, now for those that don't know, Tony and I go back a long time, from back in the old Advantage Racing days, and just
Oh yeah.
I've known Tony for a long time. Cool dude, been in the industry, given anything and everything to the industry, and he's been around the block.
A couple times
and back, and then you even got out for a while, right? Like
yeah, I quit RC for a couple of years. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you were one of those that said, "I've had enough of this shit. I'm out." And then, just like everybody else that has been in the industry for any length of time and has given a little bit of their blood, sweat, and tears, it's a drug, and you would eventually come back. And in Tony's case, not only did he come back, but the dude came back. I mean, he's bringing Blue is Better back. Like, that is huge. Like, people don't realize LRP was a dead company. Like, it was done. And, you know, the history of LRP, they kind of stayed kind of in the UK, right? Or over Europe area for a while.
Yeah, I think they focused more or less on the European market for a while, and gained all their traction back there for sure.
Mainly in on-road too, right?
On-road and off-road, like most of the Schumacher team runs LRP now. Also, Divide Ongaro runs LRP, so it's kind of diversified.
Right.
Ronald Volker runs LRP on-road. He's an on-road ninja. But yeah, I think Jürgen decided to get back to the core of LRP, which is the racing, you know, right. The motors, the speedos, the batteries, and kind of focus on the core of what LRP has always been. I think they branched out a little quick and ran a little thin, and that caused the restructure. But yeah, as far as LRP in Europe, it's they got it pretty much wrapped up over there. So seeing that, it's pretty impressive. So
well, okay, so I guess the big question is LRP, which has been on the rise. I mean, again, mainly in Europe, but how? I still can't wrap my head around how the hell does a dude named Tony Newland from Salt Lake City get a deal to bring Blue is Better back to the U.S.? Like, how does that happen? I just can't wrap my head around it. You were jiggling somebody's balls, you went somewhere, you did something, and was able to stroke the right person to be able to say, yo, I think Tony is the man that's going to help me bring this back to the U.S. How did that come about?
So I've been friends with the Orlowskis for a few years now.
That's through the Schumacher deal.
Yeah, Michael and his dad Matthew, and so we've gotten to be pretty good friends over the last few years. I mean, I message and talk with Matthew nearly every day, and Michael also, and
super cool people.
Oh, they're super nice. I mean, these are probably some of the coolest, iconic people in the industry. Like, sometimes you meet people in the industry and they're nothing like you had anticipated. You know what I mean? And I mean, we've become pretty good friends, I would say.
Are you a fan of Denny's?
Matthew's got to eat at Denny's when he comes to America, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, but it's not just having to go once; it's every meal.
Yeah, he gets a little overboard. I think we've come to a compromise now. So he really loves Denny's, and then I really love, like, you know, a steak or seafood place. So I think we met more in the middle, and the food relationship has grown over the years. So I think we're more of like partners in the food deciding, rather than early on it was just Denny's, as much Denny's as you could handle. No more. I let him have one Denny's, like the first day we get wherever we're going, Denny's, and then after that we look for something good. So I'll be nice. I let him get his Denny's out of the way, and he'll laugh when he listens to this because we go through this every time. Actually, in Connecticut, I let him have Denny's twice because we had to go get lunch one day, and he was like, "I'll run to Denny's." I'm like, "Okay, you go ahead and run to Denny's. We're gonna stay at the track all day."
Oh, it was either Denny's or Taco Bell, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard Taco Bell for the last couple trips, so maybe he's over the Taco Bell now. I'm hoping.
Yeah. Reedy was either Denny's or Taco Bell.
Yeah, and it totally gutted me that whole week. It was.
I was dying. No, I don't want to go back to Denny's.
No, dude. No, please no. Anything. I think I actually got upset at him one time. I was like, I will take an Uber, Matthew. I will not go to Denny's one more time, ever. But, no, they're super cool. So I was introduced to Jurgen, and we messaged back and forth for a little bit, and then he called, we talked. Our first phone conversation was super long because I wanted to know everything. Like, I want to know, because Jurgen's like, I mean, how many old school OGs are still left doing RC electronics or anything within that category, you know? I mean, there's really not many. So I'm just hitting him with every question and like the history LRP, the present and where he's going. Like, I just wanted to just pick his brain as much as I could. So so we just started talking and back and forth and talking America market versus European, and it's totally different, you know. And then I don't know, maybe a few weeks into it, we were talking, and he's like, "Why don't you bring LRP back to North America?" And I laughed. I'm like, I don't know, like, what kind of question is that, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. It just developed. It's probably been, it's been quite a few months in the works. I don't know how many, to be honest with you.
It's been a lot because I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah. Dude, I've been so busy. It's insane. But, like, yeah, it just ended up coming together. Like, it was not like a total business proposal like, "Hi Jurgen, my name's Tony and I want to buy your stuff." It was more, it seemed like we had some sort of relationship before anything business was even brought up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the connection was there, the trust was there.
Yeah.
And he believed in you and you believe in the product, and so it was a joint thing.
Exactly. I have super amount of respect for him. Like, it's just cool to hear all like the real legit, you know, things over the years, because I mean, I started racing in like 93, 92, something like that, and like you never knew what was going on behind the scenes back then because you were just a participant, you know. So it was cool.
With no internet or anything.
Oh yeah, this is prehistoric internet, like nothing, you know. We were like sending pigeons, but yeah, it was super cool. So here we are. Yeah.
So one of the things that I find funny, and it's always a kind of a hot topic that we always discuss, but it's, I mean, I saw your post on Facebook about bringing LRP back, and it wasn't, I think it was the very first comment off of your post was, "How do I become a team driver?" Right?
Yeah.
And like, I sat there and I read that and I started laughing out loud. Like, I was laughing out loud. Like, Tony doesn't even have product yet, and he's just announced that we're bringing it to the U.S. and first post out, "How do I be a team driver?"
Yeah.
Like, to me, that is, it's funny, but it's got to be annoying. And your email and messenger has to be just absolutely going nuts.
Yeah, it's going all the time. There's no quit to it, really. I mean,
right. So with that, right? So now you have you announce you're bringing this company back to the U.S. and LRP is a known name. Like, it's not like it's nothing. Everybody kind of knows what LRP is, even if they haven't seen it in many years.
Sure.
But Ongaro with his success on the nitro side and that nitro engine, like I would love to run that motor, but I'm like, holy shit! I tried to buy one a while back and it was like $600 or some shit, and I'm like, no way am I gonna buy that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah.
Are they still doing the nitro engines?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
we have them. We have them. Yeah.
And so with the success that he's had, and he just won the Euros, so that's even going to bring more success to the brand. And then bringing it back here, and now everybody wants to jump on the LRP bandwagon. Like, oh my God, I'm going to run LRP. I'm going to run LRP. Like, I got to contact Tony. I got to be a team guy and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you've been in the industry a long time, how in the hell do you decipher what is a legit prospect of a team driver or somebody that's going to help you build the brand here, and just the hundreds of resumes and inboxes that you're going to get that's just useless? Like, how do you go through that process of deciding not who's worthy, but who's a good representative? That's got to be impossible. It has to be.
It's definitely tough. It's time consuming, and luckily I have more people than just me behind this. So I'm not directly involved with that part of the business. I do get involved to do some research and things like that, or people that I may know of that apply. But it's hard.
Well, that explains why I wasn't accepted.
Well, you run. I mean, come on. You run a Serpent. You're automatically disqualified.
Yeah. You probably name dropped, and that was like, oh no.
Yeah, right.
Everybody knows this guy. No. It's tough, I mean, it's a balance between helping someone and help them grow their program and helping the brand at the same time. And
right, because you got to build the brand, and you're building it from nothing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, retail sales is going to be absolutely nothing. So the majority of your sales is going to come from the team guys, but damn it, I do not envy someone bringing a brand into this day and age of the RC world, where if you're not going to sponsor me, then piss on you. Your product's not worthy of my time.
And that's the type of person that you don't need. I mean, it's about relationship a little bit, and it's belief, basically. Like, years and years ago, I quit trying to convince people, like, this car is great, like promoting the products that I have, like whatever car I would be running at that particular time. Trying to convince somebody that it's good or it's better than what they have is an uphill battle. The person at the end of the day has to believe in what they have. If they don't believe in what they have, they'll never be on board 100%. So I think LRP has an impeccable history with quality and integrity of the product. The products are known to be fabulous, top level. So anybody that would want to try to get on the team simply to save $50 here, $20 here, $10 here, whatever, that's not what we're looking for. And you can kind of see that right in some of the resumes and the contact that you make with them and things like that. It's just about finding the right guys, the right fit,
Yeah.
So, with any brand, we want to have a good, strong regional type of team, guys that support the brand week in and week out. They provide support to customers, either in person or online. It takes some of the pressure off of us doing it individually. Like, we can't possibly answer every single question 24/7 on Facebook and Instagram and emails and all this. It's like it's information overload, So if you have strong guys like in the Northwest, like Serpent has Colin. So anybody with them
whoa, back it up.
Oh, here we go.
Don't use the word strong and Colin in the same sentence. That shit doesn't work. Come on now.
I thought you were gonna correct me that serpent has Colin. I thought you were gonna say Colin has serpent.
That's pretty good.
But he provides support in that area. Now, if he's there and he's helping the brand and success with those people, then Serpent in Florida, they're not as labor intensive doing that. So you have to provide a return for the deals that you do get. And I think that a lot of that's lost. People knock the door down. They're like, hook me up.
Right.
But it's like, what you have to help us a little. You have to provide your end of the deal while we provide ours. So
yeah,
it's a tough deal. There's no like secret formula.
There has to be some give and take.
For sure. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I've represented Schumacher for quite a few years. I do a lot of things for them that I don't even ask or expect any compensation for, just because I believe in what they're doing, the brand, the car, like the whole concept. I enjoy it. So, yeah, it's a difficult subject for sure, but in the end, hopefully it all works out.
Okay, so on like the only thing I know, other than I've seen LRP and I've been around LRP and all that stuff, but the only thing I've actually personally owned that was LRP was their chargers back in the day. Mm-hmm.
The blue ones.
The blue spaceship looking one. That thing was badass. I love that charger.
The Pulsar?
Yeah, the Pulsar.
Yep.
That thing, I love that thing. But is LRP, like the new thing in today's world is just rebranding, taking mm-hmm. existing stuff, rebranding it, putting their labels on it, and going. Does LRP design and make their own stuff, or is it? I'm sure it's their design, but mm-hmm. do they actually physically make the stuff, or is it they have it imported in, then they do their thing and then ship it out, or how does that work?
A little bit of everything. So everything's designed by Jürgen, basically. The motors, speed controls, software, chargers, soldering, everything. So the electronics end, that's his forte. And it's funny you talk about chargers, because that's something that we're working on right now. That's the first project that we're actually like developing and pursuing and tweaking, because we need a quality charger in the lineup. That's exactly like you said. LRP they're well known for their chargers, back in the day.
And they were awesome.
That's kind of faded here in the last few years. And it's partially because of the European market. Now, granted they were focused on that the last 3 years. The European market's quite a bit different than the American market. So
yeah, they're not crazy about stock and charging at 40, 50, 60 amps like we are here.
Well, if you look at like Reedy, Reedy is just their charger's just a rebranded High Tech, and it's all.
Well, High Tech is rebranded something else too. So
yeah,
they're all manufactured by one manufacturer for sure.
Yeah. ProTech's the same way. They badge their own chargers, but and that's something that like I value with LRP is I know he's not just going to go to China and send me an email with a charger like we want and then we'll slap our name on it. So that's super cool in my eyes. It's
me
not,
too, because
it's not just stamping out parts. Let's see how many we can sell. I think Jürgen is more. He's still at the core of RC racing, as if it was 1989 again. He's got the same mentality, the same kind of philosophy with his products and his name. And I think that's awesome. I really don't want to. I have no desire to get on board with a stamping manufacturer. That doesn't make any sense to me. So.
Yeah, me too. I think that's part of one of the things that's just wearing the industry out is and overloading the industry, because it's so easy now and you're even seeing it now with hobby shops. Like hobby shops are importing the stuff from China, putting their logos on it, and it's the same thing that A-Main sells or Associated sells, and it's the same thing. Like, it's just which brand are you going to put on it and put on your table. And to me, all the software, like on the chargers now, all the software just sucks. Like, it's just not user friendly. It's not easy. It's not. I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we can be further along in chargers than what we are for the money, for sure.
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things out there. Like, there's a couple chargers that have, let's say, for instance, wireless charging for your phone. Okay, every phone's coming out with wireless charging. You know, right. You can buy a car that you drive, a real car that has wireless charging built into it. It costs literally $5, $3, $5.
Wow.
So slap one in every damn charger. You know what I mean? Like, things like that. Just it doesn't require any more thought than just doing it, you know. So and the difference, so the charger market in Europe is its own thing, because fully encompassing in the charging, everybody's limited to 10 amps. Doesn't matter if you're stock, mod, whatever. So the whole EFRA rule is 10 amps. That's it. So at this point in time,
and they have charging tables, right? Everybody has to put their chargers on a table, and everything's uniform over there, right? Like,
no, I don't think it's like that. They do have to have bags on everything, on all the batteries. You can't charge in the vehicle, and the batteries all have to be inside of LiPo bags.
Oh, okay.
So at 10 amps, theoretically, Jurgen would never have to make another charger, because he has chargers that do 10 amps, no problem. So I open up the subject of charger discussion with him, and it's all completely new to him. Like, 30 amps? Like, what? You know, now, yeah, every one of them. He walked through the pits, you know, and it's everybody's doing it. So that's the direction that we're going to head with chargers. Is we got to make a good quality, you know, high amp charger that we can put some additional features into for a good price. So that's one of our focuses right now, for sure.
Awesome.
But
my last interaction with an LRP speed control, and they were fantastic back in the day. There's no programming box.
No.
Is that still the case?
Yeah, there's no box at all. So all the Flow X speed controls are all on Speedo programming. And I was a little iffy on that, because, you know, everything's like either a box or on your phone or whatever. And so when we went to the Schumacher GP in Connecticut, I landed Thursday night. Matthew was in my room, and he gave me the full LRP training session night before the test, you know, and it wasn't bad. Like, I was a little sketched out. I was like, yeah, this is kind of going to be a pain, but it wasn't bad, really. There's like five adjustments that you really mess with, like, you know, on the track tuning. Let's see how this feels and how this changes and that. And it was easy. It was a piece of cake. And there actually is a couple of advantages to that, meaning you can do a quick change, and also the Speedo has a little bit of memory in it. So when you get done with your run, you come back and you unhook your battery and blah, blah, blah. You want to recall some information off of the last run, you can do it right there, right then. You just hook the battery up, turn it on, and hit a button, and it'll start telling you, like, recalling some information from the previous run, which I never knew about. I didn't know that was a feature on the speed controls until Matthew taught me that. And it does
that. It does that through like a series of flashing LEDs or something.
exactly. Yep. It'll recall like the highest motor temp, the highest speedo temp, efficiency, things like that. So it was kind of handy actually. I'd never considered that because everything's with a box, but it was kind of nice to just hook the battery back up real quick and hit the button. You know, it was kind of neat. But the tuning thing with a box or your phone, I think that is the future of what we need to do. So we've talked about that in like, you know, whatever next generation of speedos comes out. Personally, I lean towards like a Bluetooth and do it on your phone because everybody's got a phone in their pocket. So let's just use that, you know. So.
Yeah, my McLaren's I use the phone with the app, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's slick, it's easy, and everybody's already got one. So just make a little, you know, Bluetooth adapter if you can't build it in, and just call it. The boxes almost seem like archaic now, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it wasn't bad. I thought it was going to be worse than it was. So I think that'll be probably a common assumption that people will think, oh, this is terrible, but it's not bad.
Right.
So
that's very cool.
Yeah.
So when are we going to see? Let's talk about Action a little bit.
Yeah.
You've got a new distribution company you've started.
Yeah.
And I'm sure LRP isn't the only brand you're going to carry.
No, I mean, like right now, that's our focus, and I think it's good timing for all that. But yeah, I mean, I have like a 5-year plan in my head, and we'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, preferably we'll have quite a few more brands. So
I think there needs to be a company that sells wheels. Do you know anybody?
Yeah, wheel company. Yeah, wheels and foam and tires and Craddock brake discs.
I think the Advantage wheels need to come back.
Oh man. I know who has the mold. He still has it. When I sold the company, yep, he still has it.
That used to be your company, and was that kind of your first forte into getting into this side of the business?
Yeah, I think it was. That was another one where I just wanted something, so I found a terrible source that had it, and I couldn't get enough of them. So then I was like, "Well, I'm just going to make it myself."
Yeah, that's right. You weren't just ordering something out of a catalog from China. You actually did the R&D and you know, had them all manufactured locally, didn't you?
Yeah. The mold shop that I had make them was like 20 minutes from my house. So, and it was awesome. They were made in the USA, and we used DuPont virgin nylon, the best stuff you could get. It was, you know, that's what I wanted to do. Like, I don't know, I get crazy ideas and then start putting it together, and pretty soon I'm like manufacturing something.
What would you say if I said I'm sitting here looking at a set of them right now?
I don't even have any. Like, I have all sorts of people text me stuff out of the blue or message me off Facebook like, "Hey, didn't you have something to do with these?" I'm like, "Holy moly!"
A couple of years ago, I saw somebody selling a set, and I was like, "Nope, I gotta have those. I'll never run them, but I gotta have them."
That's freaking awesome.
And I got an old they're a new set of Crime Fighters to go on them as well.
Nice,
just to have.
That's circa 2005 right there. If you were going to a race, that's what you had to have.
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. I'd like to have some. Maybe I'll hit him up. Maybe he'll send me a couple.
There you go. Well, you should at least have a set of your own wheels that you designed.
For sure, yeah. Vicky's doing like a little collage thing of all the stuff that I have done. You know, she's crazy about that stuff, but she'd like to see those. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's awesome. So, you used to be a big nitro racer. What happened?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got tired of wrenching on them. That's it. It just smoked me. I was like full hardcore travel nitro for probably a decade.
Yeah.
Through the whole spike of nitro and the growth and the 700 dirt entry races and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's when I quit. I ran nitro for all those years. I had no desire to run electric. And I think even the race that I went up there and raced with you in Burlington, I was semi-retired then. Like,
yeah.
I was kind of fiddling around, but nothing serious.
And that was another time where we were trying to push something that wasn't a known brand.
Pro Speed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's extremely difficult. So it was a good car. I agree. Just no following, people don't see their hero running it. They don't want anything to do with it. So
I still have mine. I'm looking at it right now.
You just won't get rid of nothing, will you?
I have a garage full of stuff here.
Yeah, a couple garages, it sounds like. That was fun. Nitro was super cool to be in it during the huge growth spurt. I started racing nitro with gas truck like most guys back in those days, and it was fun going to Nats and Worlds and all these different races. But it takes its toll, I think, after a while.
Yeah, and your nitro scene locally is not super strong, is it?
No, there's hardly anything here now.
Yeah, that makes it really tough.
Yeah, back in those days, I actually ran the local series here, so I kind of coattailed on Dana's name. I did the Rocky Mountain. What is it? What do you guys do? The NCT? Northwest Championship Tour. So I did the Rocky Mountain Tour.
Right.
But it was good. We had good turnouts back then. We'd have C and D mains and buggy, and and that's for around here. That's an incredible turnout. So, it was fun. But when I came back to electric, lipo stuff had all been figured out. Brushless was coming along. It was like, oh wait, this is super easy now. Like when I raced electric years ago, it was comm lathes, brushes, discharge bulbs, trays, 8 packs a night. It was insanity.
Yep.
So electric now is like cheating.
Well, then you need an e-buggy.
Yeah, maybe. I've only ever ran one e-buggy, and that was Ty Campbell's at Pro Series up in Boise.
Yeah. Don't waste your time. E-buggy sucks. That's the worst class ever invented.
No, e-truggy.
It's worse than short course. It's just a waste.
Tony, you should see the Burlington track now.
Yeah.
Since the last time you were there, it's pretty spectacular.
What'd they do? They make it a lot bigger than that, or what?
Yeah, they did a big expansion and more dirt.
Does the train still come by at 2 a.m.?
They do. There's not much we can do about that.
2 a.m., 2:30, 4, 4:30, 6. Oh,
that was so funny. Oh man.
I slept in a tent there once.
Oh.
Once only. That was bad.
Oh yeah, that sounded painful. Yeah, that was a cool race. That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah. So you're doing only 10 scale now.
Yeah.
10 scale electric and mostly artificial surfaces now. Because you were big on clay for a little while.
I don't know. I honestly I race like 5 times a year.
Okay.
That's including club racing. So like, here's a sample of the life here. So I started counting the hours that I worked starting Saturday, and I've put in almost 100 hours this week so far.
Yep.
I'm smoked. Like I don't have time to go to the track. It's I have to, I mean, I have an obligation. I've told people that I'll supply a product, and I need to do that. So that's my obligation. I do plan to go to the track, so we're actually going to go to the carpet track next weekend to get some practice in for a Halloween race that they're putting on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like I've had to plan this for like 3 weeks. It's busy, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, for sure. Thankfully it's busy. So, yeah, 10 scale is easy for me. I can throw the cars down. I have my good setups that I like on my cars on all these surfaces, so I just put it on there. I charge batteries and I go run. That's it. I don't mess with too much. So that part, it makes it easy now.
What? No tire warmers or anything like that.
Man.
So for you then, racing, the actual racing part is just a hobby.
Absolutely.
Oh, jeez.
See?
Here we go.
See? Look at that.
Absolutely. It actually is. And when I go to the track, I disconnect from everything. People ask me about stuff still at the track, and I have fun talking about it and helping and giving information, but I pretty much disconnect. And going to the track for me is like going to the track 20 years ago. I don't have to try things and develop things, and you know what I mean. Like, I don't do a lot of that anymore, so it's less stressful for me. It's just more enjoyable, I guess, in a way.
Right.
So, but I think the big race attendance is going to start to go up here. I'll probably go to a few more throughout the year in support of LRP. So.
Right, and you also do the Schumacher thing. You're kind of involved with that as well.
Yeah. I do quite a bit with Schumacher. Run their USA page on Facebook. Collaborate with them on stuff all the time. Like at Reedy, you were pitted right next to me. We were running the lay down prototypes at the Reedy race. So,
yep.
Being involved a little bit with some input is cool. And to watch the development of things, throughout the time, from an idea to an actually, here it is, it's now go try it, so, yeah, that's cool. I like the personality of Schumacher, the company. It's still a relatively small company. It's not a big corporation. It's still owned by the Schumacher family, Robin. So it seems to be like it's a little more close-knit, company and process to developing things and coming out with new items, It's a pretty neat experience that
Very
they
cool.
have going on. So
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of growth here with the Schumacher stuff. There's been a few guys running them, and
yeah,
I see it picking up a little bit.
yeah, the new car has definitely increased interest in the brand for sure. In the last 6 months, it's grown quite a bit.
Is it still called a Cat?
The 4-wheel drive is the Cat.
Oh.
Yep. The 2-wheel drive is the Cougar series. So I know you like your Cougars. So
I like my Cougars, but I was
Yeah.
never a Cat person.
Yeah. If you get a Cougar and then a lay down, then you're set. You're good.
Oh, see.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Oh, I like where that's going.
Yeah. See, now you're on board.
The problem is none of them can afford me, so it's like so high maintenance.
Oh man, but it's the glory. Can you imagine the glory?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean it's cool because when I started with Schumacher 10 years ago, everybody's like, "What the hell is that?" Like they didn't even see these cars,
Check.
and it, it's cool to be around and watch it progress and change and adapt and turn into what it is. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't have hardly any no credit for any of that, but it's just it's good being around it, to watch and see what decisions are made and why and when, and it's pretty neat.
Well, I've been on this big push lately because 10 scale in general it's on an uptake. I think there's the popularity of 10 scale in general is getting bigger, and I think a lot of that has to do with the artificial surfaces and the way how a lot of the tracks are going to AstroTurf or carpet and all that stuff. And it's just easier, just like you said. It's just so much easier. People, their attention span's getting less and less. People just want to take their car, go to the track, race, go home, and then not think about it again until the next time they go race. Or 8 scale and everything else, you're constantly working on it. You have to prep it and get it ready. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of DNFs, right?
Yeah.
So I think with the way how 10 scale is kind of on an uptake with that kind of thing, and primarily the Schumacher brand is based around more artificial surfaces rather than clay. But like you said, I mean, Orlowski, he's badass on anything.
Yeah.
So we got the Worlds coming up, and all the bullshit that's going to go along with the Worlds this year, which I'm fascinated. I can't wait to see all the drama that comes out from that race. But it's going to be, from the sounds of it, I mean, it's going to be kind of a slicker surface. How do you feel your car's going to hold up on all the stuff that they have coming from the pre-Worlds and all that stuff, where it's going to be a slick clay surface, kind of a struggle for traction? What do you think his chances are there? Because he's your best driver, so obviously he's the only one that's really got a shot to make the final. But
yeah, he and Jorn's pretty good on dirt.
I didn't know Jorn's running it. Is he?
Yeah, Jorn's ran Schumacher for a couple of years now. But I would say that Jorn's a little more seasoned on dirt than Michael. But it seems like Michael's got that,
He's got the it factor, though.
Yeah,
he's just fast. He's just fast on it.
He's got that young, quickness. I'm just going to rip off laps, and then we're going to go hang out in the pits for a while. Like, it's like playing a video game for 5 minutes, and then he goes and hangs out. He transitions so easy,
He did look really good at Reedy.
Yeah, he finished Reedy the best he'd ever finished this year.
He had moments where he was competing with the top guys.
For sure. On their own surface, per se,
Right.
So I know they've worked really hard on dirt setup for the car. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but they did test at Hootie Arena a while back. After I believe it was after the warm-up race, they stayed and rented the track for a few days.
Yeah.
With Trish and engineers and that.
Well, I'm sure, and then the X-ray guys had it for like 4 weeks after that, so they were good.
Oh, X-rays had it for years, yeah. So the Europeans don't change tracks, so it's like, they've had that same surface for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Not like here where we rip it up and rebuild a new one, and you're starting with a green track. That thing's like concrete, So I think the car will do well.
Yeah.
The World's races that I've ever been to, it's never about who's the fastest guy. The Worlds are all about circumstances, in my opinion. So, depending on the conditions and the circumstances, determine a little bit of who wins the race. You obviously have to put together a good, 4 or 5 days with no mistakes, but there's a lot of circumstances that come involved in the Worlds. It's so long, every run means so much, even practice. I mean, you practice and you get into seeding, then you seed, and then you get into a main. It's like, holy moly, there's like a 6-step process here. And one mistake will derail that whole path, So it's difficult, but I think he'll do very well. I think he and Jorn will do really well.
Well, I saw today that they released all the good pictures of the track. The track looks badass. I mean,
It does look cool.
you know, it looks neat, but it does look slick. I mean, you could tell that it doesn't look like there's a lot of traction there. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's very, very slick. Very slick.
Now, how into the world are you going to be? Are you going to be like watching that shit every day? Or are you just going to be like checking in? Like how into watching an event like that are you?
I'll watch as much as I can. I'm sure everything will be summarized at the end of the day when all the media places put out their videos and things like that. And I'll hear from Matthew and Jurgen probably through messaging from the race. So I'll be in touch with them. I'm not going to overbear them because they're busy, very busy. But I mean, they're well prepared. I don't have any question about that. Like Michael and Matthew, they're very, very cut and dry professional with what they do with RC. When they go to the track, it is track. That's it. Cars, tuning the cars, changing things on the cars. They talk every run, and Matthew's timing every run. Like, they are very methodical. So I don't know if there's a better prepared person.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm going to be relying on you to feed me some of the gossip that's going to come from that race.
The gossip.
So, like, when you hear the cool shit that happens, I'm expecting a text that says, "Yo, did you hear this? Did you see this? I heard about this."
Oh, I think there'll be plenty from this race being at Hoodie Arena. I mean, it's already started. I can't
wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, there's no hiding the fact there's always been friction between Schumacher and X-Ray just over the years, like there's always been a little chip on, the shoulder, but I mean, it's their track. Like, I read somewhere on Facebook, I don't know, I couldn't even tell you where it was at, but somebody was saying, well, X-Ray should be ashamed if they don't win. And then somebody else said they should be ashamed if they do win. And it's like,
can't win. They can't win.
It is. It's like a no-win situation for them, because if they lose, then everybody's going to go, oh, you had years on this track, and da-da-da. And then if they win, they're going to go, oh, you had years on this track, It's
well,
like,
I can tell you this. Everything would completely melt down if one of your Schumacher guys actually pulled out the win. Because not only did Schumacher win on Hoodie's turf, and with all the issues that they've had going back and forth over the years, but like to show up Associated and TLR and all the other major brands, if all the gods blessed Schumacher and everything came together and they actually won that race, which he's got the talent to do it. I think that would melt the internet.
What would that mean? What would that mean for Schumacher?
It would be huge. It would mean more to the people at Schumacher as a matter of pride than anything.
It's validation.
I mean, I mean, they work so hard at stuff, and it's such a small company compared to all the rest of these. Like, they work extremely hard, to produce what they do produce.
Right. And I mean, it's no secret that their designs for the last bunch of years have been based mainly around high grip artificial surfaces.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So for them to win on which is actually going to be a lower grip surface than even most clay tracks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It would really be huge.
Yeah, it would be awesome. And last Worlds in China, most people forgot or didn't even know that Michael TQ'd most of practice in 2-wheel and 4-wheel before the rains came, and totally hosed the whole freaking surface, like all the rants that you saw with Mayfield and everybody. Like, what in the hell? Like, he was on top for the first 3 days. You know, I mean, it's practice, but it's still something. It's better than being on the bottom at the end of practice. You know,
that's like Colin. He's badass in practice.
Yeah, TQ.
Yeah, he's
I always win practice.
Is he calling out leader in practice? Leader!
I just punt everybody out of the way. That way nobody else can get a good run in.
That's what I do. I love that. I love it. But, yeah, it's... God, you know, I don't know. It'd be cool. I'd be happy for Michael and Robin. Because, like you said, like, most of the previous brands of cars have resembled each other in some way, you know, and all the mid-motor, like true mid-motor 2-wheel drive stuff, and everybody's not used to seeing that, and you know, it would be super cool, and I'd be happy for Trish too, because Trish is the one who's spearheaded this whole new 2-wheel drive car, and broken the molds basically at Schumacher and made this car. So yeah, it would be awesome for all those guys. It would be awesome.
So who's the top LRP guy going into the race? Would it be Ongaro, wouldn't it?
Well, he won the Euros, so yeah. I would say that he's probably more favored. Yeah.
See, I think he'll struggle because I don't know how he will do on that. He's so punched. He's so fast and talented, but he's so punched. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
That track looks like it's going to be a finesse kind of track. So.
Well, the Euros track in Italy was pretty low grit too. It was not good.
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be hard packed and clean, and it ended up busting apart and being dusty all over the place. So it was a little difficult, but he pulled it out. So
yeah.
He drove way good at that race, perfectly, basically. So, I mean, Ronafalk's pretty much a ninja on those surfaces, and it seems like he's always on with 2-wheel when the conditions get sketchy. Like, he steps it up. Everybody else is going backwards, and he goes forward. So, yeah, for Ongaro to beat him, I think that was pretty big for him.
Interesting.
For sure. But we'll see. We'll see Monday.
Yep.
So who's your money on to win 40 plus at the NCT between Jeff and I? That's the real question. Let's get down to business here.
Who's won practice so far?
Collins dominated practice.
I beat you in the last round too in the real racing.
Well, yeah, you did.
Both classes.
I don't know. Does Jeff have access to the Serpent cars? Can he sabotage them in any way?
Well, make sure he doesn't at the next round.
See, the problem is Colin, because they came out with that new car that's automatically makes you a pro. Colin just thinks he's a pro now. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I'm a pro now.
I'm
a pro minus the paycheck.
So he's got chicks falling out of the motorhome between rounds and everything?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, man. I can't keep them off of me.
That's what Schumacher needs to do. They just need to put the word pro on their car. This is a pro kit. And
pro.
Instantly, you're, like, faster.
Oh, wow. Yeah. We'll do that right after the Worlds.
Yeah.
Right after the Worlds.
Right. So you've been actually racing some off-road side-by-side stuff, desert racing or something.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's a lot of damn work.
I see you work on it all the time for months and months and months, and then you do like 1 or 2 races a year.
Yeah. So our local series has 4 races, and praise the Lord, there's no more because there ain't enough time between them to do everything.
And you thought nitro cars were a lot of work?
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's like a 1-to-1 buggy right there. And and honestly, it's like the same damn thing. I got my feet wet racing UTVs, and I was like, and then I went crazy on it. So I spent a year and a half building the car to be completely legit, past tech, all safe, everything, blah, blah, whatever. So we go out and run the first race, and we're just shaking the car down. We're not trying to win the race at all, nothing, just cruising around. We get like 4th or 5th. The second race, we're like, I told my co-driver, I'm like, we're going for it, dude. It's on now. Because we spent lots of time testing and tuning the suspension. Same thing with RC cars, getting all your pistons and springs and everything set up. Same thing. And we're killing it at the second race. We were like 30 minutes up on second place and blew a ball joint up. So it was like, son of a... that was like 8 scale gnats, and we just broke in the main,
Oh.
Shit. So it's kind of got its addicting thing like RC. It's obviously a little more intense because you can kill yourself, but yeah, it's something else to do away from this to kind of defrag a little bit,
So wait. So now driving that's kind of a sport, right?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, probably.
Because you could kill yourself in it. Like that's kind of sporty.
Yeah, you're not just gonna stub your toe. This thing will kill you. Yeah.
So you play with toy cars as a hobby on the side, and then you go race that for your sporting events. Got it.
See, I don't consider them toy cars though, and that's where you're gonna go crazy on me. But yeah, it's small hobby, big hobby. Yeah. But the big hobby is limited enough to where I can get it in and it doesn't disrupt too much stuff. 4 races, that's not too much. It's super fun though. It's been a dream of mine to race off road of some kind. So it's pretty damn intense. It's cool.
Well, it's got to be pretty damn expensive too.
A little bit. I've actually been fortunate that I was picked up by Yamaha Motors USA and Yamalube and GSP Axles, a bunch of sponsors, and it's made it easier for me to go out and race.
Okay. Well, all right. That brings up a subject then. So, in that industry right there, is sponsorships readily available as well?
Not at all. No.
So, how does somebody like you, who's never really raced, and just building a car for the first time, how do you get sponsors? Like, how did that come about?
So, it's kind of another like relationship type of thing. So, Yamaha had a photo contest 2 years ago. When I first raced the car, it was like mostly stock. They had a photo contest. Submit your photo, and the most popular photo will get X prize. And I won. And they did that for 5 weeks, and then they had 5 finalists. And then they had people online vote for their favorite out of those 5. And they won the grand prize. And I won that. So
the moral of the story is you just got to be really fucking lucky.
I guess so. That's pretty much what it is, I mean, it basically struck up a relationship with me and Yamaha Motors USA. And I kept in touch with them and talked to them. I never asked for anything. I just, my car is outnumbered by, let's say, like Polaris Razors and Can-Ams. My car is outnumbered like 8-to-1, 10-to-1. So
well, they all come with turbos and stuff, and yours doesn't have one, right?
For sure, yeah. They're turboed up. They're running 250 horsepower, and I'm screaming along with 80.
Right.
So my car is not the overwhelming choice of cars.
But it's orange.
It's very orange.
It's orange, so that's 100 horsepower right there.
Oh, it's super cool. People pull over all the time.
That's right.
But, yeah, so I think they saw the effort that I was putting into it, taking a year and a half to build the car. And once it was finished and done and we were testing it, I think they liked it. They were like, "Whoa, this dude's serious. Like, this is a legit car, you know."
Well, I watched along on Facebook as you guys were posting stuff about it, and it looked very professional.
Thanks. I mean,
it didn't look like some guy in his basement, you know, or in his garage building something and then all of a sudden going out and asking every which manufacturer he could find for sponsorships.
Yeah. I mean, we spent the time on it because I just wanted to do it right once and be done. I knew it was going to be a huge project, you know, and just wanted to do it right. So, and I talked to a couple of their other, like, you know, A-Team Pro guys, and, you know, anytime we're like, where do we got to put this bar? Where's the fuel cell? How's it got to be mounted? Like, all this stuff, I'm hitting them up, texting them, and like, you know, I did get some help from those guys. And then once we got the car out and testing, and then actually I got the most sponsorships after the race that we broke in. Because I think they saw that our speed was there, the car's good. It was just a fluke thing that basically took us out of the race. Mm-hmm. So they actually come on board then. I asked for a few parts for the car, and they were like, "Yeah, hell yeah, we'll send it," and you know, and I mean, it was super awesome. Now the car's like fully dialed in, like in RC Car Talk, you would be like, your car's totally dialed, you know, suspension's good, motor's good, everything's good, you know. So now the last race, we finished third in Pro UTVs, 3 minutes behind a full built Pro turbo car after 200 miles.
Wow.
Actually, the original builder and owner of that car is the guy that owns Monster Energy. So it's like an $80,000 double throwdown race car, you know. And the car was awesome. Nothing broke, nothing fell off, thank God. And yeah, it was cool. We got the last race of the season coming up in October, about 3 weeks away. So that'll be the last race, and then throw it in the garage for 6 months.
So how much prep goes into doing each one of these events? Like in between events, what needs to be done
on the UTV?
Yeah,
it depends on what carnage we have the race. So like this race that we just finished, there was no carnage at all. So I have one axle that I've got to replace. The boot tore on it. But that's about it, really. We're going to test some new rear suspension parts that a guy's making. But other than that, I'm just going to do normal maintenance. So normal maintenance on this car is put it in the air, pull all the panels off, pull the tires off, wash everything down, change all the fluids, make sure nothing's leaking, basically. Grease everything, make sure all the suspension's free, just like RC, basically.
Right.
And I still haven't gone through the shocks on it. The shocks need to be gone through bad, but that'll be this winter. But I just basically go through all that stuff, just check for problems, basically look around the car. We didn't have any sort of huge impacts or anything on this race, so we didn't flip it. We're good.
Sorry, are you the driver or are you the navigator?
I'm the driver, yeah.
You're the driver.
Yeah. I found somebody.
Flip it? That's
yeah,
impressive.
Yeah. Well, we came close every race it's close, you know. But
well, you wouldn't be winning if you weren't close to wrecking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, he wrecks his RC car a lot, so I just put them two together.
So I'm that close to winning all the time. I was on a perfect run until
someone took me out.
Yeah, exactly. But that's no,
it's actually pretty fascinating.
It is cool. Yeah. So Jeff, you had a bunch of stuff you wanted to talk about.
Talk to Tony about?
I don't know. You said you had a bunch of stuff that you were going to raise some hell about.
Well, no, I forgot now. Like, it was just... No, it was... A lot of it was... I was going to make fun of him a lot for the whole sponsorship thing, for bringing... When he brings... You know, typical thing. When you bring a new manufacturer in, everybody's just like, oh, I gotta get a deal. I gotta get a deal.
Right. So, Tony, have you heard about RCGP?
We don't need to bring that up. Like, that is just no.
I'm trying to get you going somehow.
Oh my God, no.
I'm going to tell you something funny. So I listened to one of the first podcasts that Keenan does, the No Name or whatever. So I listened to the first one. I think it was this morning, or yesterday morning, or this morning, and I can't remember which day is which anymore. So I listened to it, and it was like, when I first started it, it was like 4 hours long. I'm like, no, I'm not making it through all this. I promise you. Like, it's insane. Like, so I started listening. The first 8 minutes was advertising. The next few minutes was trying to get JQ on the line and secured. And he was complaining about shipping orders, which is ridiculous. And then they talked about the GP thing for a minute. And I don't really know much about the GP thing. I guess it's JQ's brainchild to make big races, or try to make big races. But I was just like, man, another series, another race. Like, dude, how can people hit all these races? I mean,
I'm hitting it.
You're hitting it hard?
I'm going to hit it hard. Yep.
Well, that's part of the problem is that it is just another race. Now, they're trying to do something a little different with the media side of things, but it is just more racing.
What are they doing different with the media?
Well, their goal is to create a bunch of media content to make RC more professional, and they're trying to use that media content to outsource sponsorships from, sponsors within the industry, but more so outside of the industry, because that's where more of the money is. So their ultimate goal is to bring all of the best racers in the world together more times than just like the IFMAR Worlds.
We already have that, though.
Well, yeah, but they want to do it more than just every other year.
No, we already have those races, though. I mean, the Nitro Challenge gets people from Europe.
Well, yeah, they do, but I mean, not in a series base. Originally their goal is to compete with IFMAR of getting a true world champion.
They keep trying to basically. My interpretation of it is it's like this Formula 1 MXGP hybrid, if you were to apply that to RC, is how they're kind of dressing up the media side of it.
Okay.
But
so I want to ask this question, and it's just yes or no. Is RC spectator friendly?
No. That's an easy one. And that's
Travis?
No, it's still at RC tracks.
Is it spectator friendly, though?
Well, it's as spectator friendly as any RC track is.
I'll go with yes, but it's one of those things for me. It's not as black and white. Like, it's on how you present it. In most cases, it's really goddamn boring.
Well, then you can't say yes. It's spectator friendly
because
it is not.
Because if you
RC
dress it up,
is the most boring fucking thing to watch. Outside of the last 5 minutes of a big main, there's nothing.
But there has to be presentation value to it. If you go to let's say Saturday at the NCT race we were just at, that is the most boring goddamn day you will have at a race if you are a spectator, right? It's any different than Friday. People still have no idea what's going on.
Exactly.
But if you now. if you change the format to where like you can dress up the format to make it more interesting. Heads up qualifying was a big thing. You know, I'm a big proponent of that for the spectator side of things, right? I know RCGP is kind of trying that. I know they've had some issues with driving etiquette and stuff like that. That's come along with it, which, you know what, you're just going to have to deal with that. But at its core, it can be, but it is across the industry. It is not presented that way because people, the racers, are too focused on, well, we want fair qualifying chances. We want, you know, a better opportunity to set proper times because, well, you know, if it's heads up qualifying, then it's, you know, more luck of the draw, and that's not fair.
Okay, more chances to get one run in.
But the racers, well, the racers are not on board with making it a spectator friendly thing.
I agree with that.
That's and I think that's the core of the problem.
But no, see, here's the difference. This is what a lot of people don't grasp on this thing is in RC in general, is 90% of the wives or girlfriends or people that don't give a shit about RC but go to the races because their husband or boyfriends or whatever is at the race and they go tag along because they want to be with them. But none of them is sitting there watching a race saying, oh, that's cool, or oh, that was a neat race, or that was fun, or whatever. It doesn't happen.
Well, that's okay. That's a subjective example, though, because that's entirely based off of whether, you know, the spouse or relative or whatever is even remotely involved, or, you know, that's a core of if they give a shit about what you're doing. At the NCT, my fiance, who knows nothing about racing going into it, navigated their own way to live RC and tried to keep up the best they can. It's a subjective thing. With the RCGP part of it, where it becomes this, you know, when they're trying to grow to the spectator thing, and this is where I do get critical of RCGP, is they are trying to get it to people who are completely detached from RC. Right, so they're trying to grow it, you know, from people who are like, you know, who don't understand RC car racing. Where if it is brought up to them, they're thinking that you're going to the skate park or grass fields or, you know, dirt lots, whatever's going on with your Tyco type stuff. Like, they don't grasp that, right? So that's who that's targeted for. That's why they're trying to grab outside money. That's why they're trying to get this sort of online viewership, because it's not going to be at the track that they're getting this viewership from. They're trying to get it online, but it's still not presented that way. Their goals to grow it are way too big. Like, it's so impossibly unrealistic as far as the reach they think they're going to make, you know, shit like that. Like, that's my thing. So if they scale it back, you know, I think you can make it interesting. You can make it fun to watch, right? But have to, the way they're doing it, the way they're trying to grasp so many people at the same time. And I think a perfect example of this was like the Traxxas ad that we keep joking about, right?
That was funny.
You know, like that's my thing, is that, you know, they're, you know, in one season of doing this, when, you know, you've told Joseph, you told Keenan, it's going to take years to do it the way they're trying to do it. They don't think it's going to take as long. Like, they're trying to overreach in their first season. That's where I get critical. But they have to adjust it. That's
where I'm coming from too. Is the difference in the years part, right? So I'm saying years down the road. But the problem is they don't get the entries to fund the race for years down the road. If they don't get outside sponsors now, there is going to be no RCGP going forward, because there's no way JQ and the few people that he has now can fund the race year after year after year while they get to that point. It's just...
Yeah. And I completely agree with you on that point, for sure. Like, that needs to be the priority now. And I don't know if that's something they're working on behind the scenes and just have not had any influence with. But, like, it's going to take a long time, and they really do need to be thinking into, all right, if this is going to work, then we need to find a way to make this work, not just this year, not just next year, but for the next, you know, 10 to 15, right? And, you know, I know that you don't like the comparison because there's not a lot of similarities, but take something like Formula One, right? When Formula One started, it was 15, almost 20 years before sponsorship from the outside even got involved. And there was so much more money at the core of that sport than there ever, you know, in comparative to, you know,
yeah, but that's
RC.
the difference, is they can afford, years and years and years of losses.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But the point that I'm getting at is that that's a best case scenario. So that's to go the route of it kind of seems like that's the way they're treating it. It's like, it's going to happen eventually, but they think it's going to happen a lot sooner. Like, they need to grab that now because that money has to be what grows it. They can't grow it and then attain that later. Right. And that's where I think the mistake is coming from.
So in a nutshell, their business plan sucks, and RC is boring as hell to watch.
Largely, sure.
Let's be honest.
I mean, if I've heard this from outside people, so if they casually come upon an RC track in the middle of a race, they have no idea what's going on. Yep, and that's the disconnect that most people have. Like, first of all, there's shock. Okay, you guys race these things. Second of all, they have no idea how it works. Even with, Vicky's been with me for 3-4 years now. She has no idea how it works. I mean, she has an idea, but like, she doesn't understand why there's practice, qualifying, mains. What's the point? Just race, right. Like because most racing, all you see is the main event. Like NASCAR, there's one race. Nobody watches qualifying. If you watch qualifying for NASCAR, you need to find something to do. But like Supercross, you watch the main event. You don't watch the afternoon show. You want to watch the night show. Yeah.
Right.
So, I see some of the angles that different people film and cover RC racing, like the RCTV, and I can't think of his name. He does the Come Drive With Us series and things like that.
Oh, Mike Garrison.
Yeah. And those videos and those promotionals are awesome. Dude, like, anybody who has the gears turning in their head will connect with that, and they'll want to know more. But as far as the actual 45-minute main event racing, I don't think it'll ever become something that draws crowds.
No,
it's hard. It's like magazines years ago. I think Stephen Best told me years ago in the magazines when they quit covering races. I'm like, why would you quit covering races? Because I am a racer. I want to read about it. He's like, anybody who wants to be or wants to know what happened to that race was there. Mm-hmm. Somebody
that is a very true statement.
Yeah, and then they quit covering races. It just didn't generate what they needed. The cash flow, and
we're a participation hobby. That's what we are. If you're not involved already, then it's boring, and it's not going to change how you present it on YouTube. Like, that doesn't change anything.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago we popped on the TV and there happened to be this cornhole thing. Like,
I saw that.
We're watching TV. I'm like, oh my God, there's like a world championship for cornholing. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Click. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't appeal, it doesn't appeal. You're not going to make it appeal,
Right.
All right, well, you're a professional race car driver, like real race car shit, right? You do all that side-by-side stuff. Would you sit and watch, like, the Mickey Thompson off-road trucks?
I have watched. When I was younger, I went to those Mickey Thompson Stadium Series races. Yeah.
No, but if it's on TV and you're just swiping through the TV trying to find something to watch and it's on, are you going to sit and watch it through and through, or are you just going to watch it for a second and be like, piss off?
Yeah, I would just, I'd skim across it. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
See? And that's more interesting than RC car racing.
See, the appeal to me of the RCGP, I'm already a racer, and going to
you just pretend to be.
Well, there's that.
Practice racer.
Yeah.
I like you. See, Tony and I click, man. We're good.
I like going to the track. I like drinking my beer. I like hanging out with friends and driving my RC car. Whether it's racing or not, I'm driving my RC car, and I enjoy that side of it. But at the if you go to a DNC or something like that, you've got 800 million classes and and 10 times as many entries, and you're sitting around waiting, and half those classes aren't fun to watch. It's just boring. So for me, it's a waste of money going to these great big monster races. So the RCGP, at least this year, it's lower entries. It's
Much
one class,
lower. Way lower. Like
yeah. I was hoping
lower.
I was hoping it would sell out, but there's going to be a lot less downtime. There's only one class, well, two classes, but one car basically. So it's the chance to be involved with a bigger event and see the top pros without being there from 5 a.m. until 2 a.m. every day for 5 days straight.
I absolutely agree.
So yeah, those big events do nothing for me. I have no desire to go and race those big events.
But you were happy you did it once just to experience it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody, that's why I tell it, when there was a little surge of nitro here about 5 years ago, and everybody's like, oh God, Nitro Challenge, Silver State, we're going, bro, and it's like, that's awesome. You guys should go. You should go to those races at least once. And they wanted me to go and tune for them. They were like, we'll pay for everything and even more than everything. And it's like, I don't really want to go. Like, I've been down that road, and it was fun, had a good time. I'm going to go home and cut some carbon and, I mean, like, I have, like, a lot of things on the plate. So it was like, but I saw the twinkle in their eye, and I'm like, that's what I was like 10 years ago.
Right. For me, the value for my dollar spent is just not there at those big events.
Not for anyone, really, because just like you said, there's 600 entries. You'll run your car twice in 16 hours.
Yep, twice a day basically is what you get to do.
And what do you do in the rest of the time? Like, I don't know, you can hang out with everyone and go crash parties and play pit games as much as you can, but at the end you're still smoked. Sunday comes, you're done.
Yeah, you're hanging out in this dust pit with the noise and the dirt and everything for, maybe I'm just old and I don't enjoy that anymore. But it's too much. It's too much. So that's why RCGP for me was appealing to sign up and go this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, here's the thing. I feel like for as complicated as RC is so many different races that we have and different avenues. Like RC is one of those hobbies where you can make it pretty much everything you want it to be. It's just a matter of what your perspective is on it. For you, Tony, you used to do all that. You have no desire to do it anymore. You just kind of stayed at 10 scale. You have your happy place. That's what you want to do. Colin is in a completely different spot. Same with the races, but like it's 8 scale every weekend. Racing in pretty much as much as you can for the fun of it. Yep. And Jeff going on podcasts talking out of his ass, right? We all have our niche. So when it comes down to, RCGP should have been one of those things where it was a unifying factor for the people already involved. I feel like a better suited target would have been to take people like Tony, right, that are involved in RC already, but aren't, really invested that much into that level of things, to be able to get them to tune in and be like, all right, maybe we can actually have one series that we can focus on and actually pay attention to throughout the whole year instead of it just being a race to race type thing. Mm-hmm. And also too, though, for some people, that's the draw. So, when you try and grow the hobby like that, you try and get people from the outside. And then once they break past the RCGP barrier, let's say it's like 1 in 10, 1 in 15 that actually dive into this a little bit further once they come across this on YouTube, then they're going to see just how convoluted all this shit is. And they're going to be like, still, where do you even start? Mm-hmm. That's where I feel like the missed opportunity was, because I feel like there's already the hobby's doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the industry is doing really well as a whole. Like, there's a lot of people invested in this. No matter how, small or how big you think it is, there's still a lot of people doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if it's in your area or not. So take that, and you already have a big base of people. Appeal to them.
Yeah.
And try and grow it after that, because then what you're gonna have happen is, a bunch of people right now who are like, well, we already have these big races. Why should I care?
Yeah.
That's my, that's where I think it was missed. But, at the same time, I'm not the one doing it, so how much can I really talk?
But they still make the best 30-second Traxxas ads than anybody in the industry.
You're absolutely right.
I gotta see this Traxxas ad. I don't.
Yeah, go to the RCGP YouTube page.
Yeah.
And there's an ad on there. It's a total Traxxas ad. It's so
I should have linked it on that episode.
It's where they were showing off the RC cars to the people at was it MXGP?
It was World Rallycross.
World Rallycross.
Yeah,
that's right.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool event, but
See, that's if they were alongside of the World Rallycross or the
yeah, if there was a race there that weekend, then there's some value to that. But
yeah, you could. I think you could generate more interest doing something like that if you piggybacked on another series.
100%.
I think that's where your benefit's at, because you're gonna have people face to face right here, right now. Let's do it. And
Traxxas has proved that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And they bought that whole series because they saw the value of it, and then Associated jumped on Lucas. But yeah, I think I think doing anything on your own is, wow, that's crazy.
We're still isolated to RC tracks, which are, most of the time out in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, that part hasn't changed.
Yep. I remember when I was young, real young, probably like 6 or something, there was a small track in the mall here, one of the malls. And at that age, I would probably say 5 to 12, that those ages of kids wouldn't be able to look away. It's just mesmerizing, at that time. So I think more things like that, Schumacher does one of their British races in the largest mall in the UK.
Canada does that.
Yeah. I think that's enormous. All the vendors, they set up little, easy ups there. Like Schumacher sets one up, X-Ray sets one up. All the manufacturers set one up. So when these people see what they're seeing, they're like, "Whoa, what is this? This is crazy." They can walk 25 feet over and learn about it.
Yeah.
I think, maybe that's the angle that I would push. I think all the social media is completely drowned with everything. Like, it's hard to throw a neon light over the top of this and stand out, I don't know. The major big money sponsorship that they're going after, like, those sponsors want to see a demand, first of all. What's your customer base? What's your watcher base? It's not there,
Oh, we're at Supercross with 60,000 people every week.
Yeah, and 1 million watching on TV. So yeah.
Right.
We're gonna keep going to those ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
no, 100%.
Being stuck in the middle of nowhere at this little track that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, I think.
Yeah, it's difficult. There's always been this discussion. How does RC break through, or how do you make it mainstream and all this stuff? And I don't think you do. That's just me.
Yeah.
I like the format that they're doing.
You and I agree on that. I don't think it's the mainstream thing. RC is a hobby. It's not a mainstream thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like darts. Like, I don't want to watch darts. I don't even want to play darts. There's nothing you're going to do to convince me that I need to watch darts or play darts. Like, it doesn't appeal to me. So I think it's kind of one of those things, you know. Get it in front of people with their hands, with their eyes, they can see it, and then that's, you know, it's a different story, you know.
Yeah, no matter what, there's going to be people who look at it, no matter how much you can dress it up and say, hey, you know what? Not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably going to be over 90% of the people you have walk through whatever it is you've got going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I mean, I commend him for pushing and trying to get it out there for sure, you know.
Yeah.
It's takes a lot of work, a lot of effort for sure.
Yeah, you know, give credit where it's due. You know, they're trying, and you know, I'll give them that. But it's, you know, it's easy for me to sit here and be critical, you know, and I believe in the idea.
You guys are giving them a bunch of credit for trying to build this thing up, but where's my credit for trying to make them make it better?
Yeah,
See,
yeah, you're right.
Where do I
You
get
are
the credit
right.
for sitting here giving them a bunch of shit week in and week out to make them better at what they do? But I don't get any credit for that.
You are correct. I will give you that. But you know damn well when you bring all that up that the only people you're going to convince are the people that are listening to that show and not the people you're talking to.
Well, yeah.
You know,
don't
Joseph's
care
not
about
going to change
anybody
his
else.
mind. He's going to give you the business plan that he's written up for the 10th time, right? You know, Keenan might sway a little bit, but you know, the only people you're convincing is the listeners. I will give you credit for that, though. You're right. I apologize for overshadowing your efforts.
My effort to
make
destroy
RCG. I wasn't gonna say that, but you know, well, I'll go with it.
What if Jeff's actually behind RCGP and JQ and Keenan are just puppets?
Oh, here we go.
Bam!
Elaborate.
Conspiracy
decoded
theories
this.
going at it. We'll leave it to the guy in Utah to come up with a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, somebody's wearing his tinfoil hat.
I haven't even seen a UFO yet. I nailed it. He's quiet. He ain't got nothing to say.
No.
Yeah,
no.
he came on here talking shit. He was gonna nail you. Well, that didn't happen.
Well, that was before I had 4 drinks. Now I'm kind of like really mellow and just like chill.
Oh, we gotta get you drinking more often then.
He's past the point of no return already?
Yeah. Now I'm eating cheesecake, so you know,
He's thinking apple pie at McDonald's.
Oh my god! How many drive-thrus you been through on the way home?
I know, right?
Like 7 apple pies. Yeah.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Oh, God.
Shit. So, are you racing that race in Boise tomorrow? This weekend?
No, I'm running the race.
You're running the race.
Yeah.
What
Why
the
are-
hell?
Why aren't you racing?
I still haven't even touched my car from the Burlington race,
Oh, so the diffs are dialed.
and and I have to fly out Sunday for work. So I'm just running the race tomorrow, and then somebody else will do it on Sunday. Although we're not going to have that many entries, so I'm trying to convince them to do a 1-day race instead of a 2.
Well, that would make more sense, but
I
Yeah,
didn't even know there was a 2-day race happening over there.
yeah, they're one of their big money race that they're doing, and it's going to be a club race with 35 or 40 people, and I'm like, why are we doing 2 days? That's just stupid.
Where's this at?
Here at the Eagle Track in Boise.
Oh. Carpet?
No, this is 8 Sco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That thing you don't race anymore.
Yeah, those, messy
You
cars.
just you make cool ass wheels and some cool brakes, and then you say, "Piss off, I'm out."
It was real.
It was.
That was so long ago.
It was.
You can't hold a 15-year grudge, can you?
I can.
Oh.
Like I missed those wheels. Like those wheels are dialed.
Oh.
Blue, just hashtag blue is better, right?
Yeah, there you go.
That's what we got out of this. That blue is better.
Yeah, blue is better. Blue's always better.
Make me a dialed charger so I can get rid of all my old shit.
Yeah.
You know what you need to do? You need to go similar to that one that the iCharger where they came out with that new little cube-looking thing. That thing is badass.
Which one? The 8?
I don't know what it is. It's the iCharger that has the
i6
little
or X6.
whatever the hell it is. That thing is badass. I love it.
X6. It's tiny.
Well, this is your story. Tell me what it is. X6?
I want that charger, but I want it in blue that says LRP #blue is better. How's that?
Okay, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Make it happen.
I'll hand deliver it.
There. All right.
Awesome.
I'm waiting. I'll send in my resume.
Yep, we're going to post Tony's email address in
Let me
the...
get you a special email.
comments.
Hold on.
all
I'm going to
all
make an
resumes
email.
go to. All resumes go to Tony Newland. I'm not going to read your shit because I really don't care at blueisbetter.com.
Are you sure we're not talking to Randy Pike?
Yo.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Jeff send email to this shitbox.com. Yeah. Trash. Jeff's came out here. Jeff's raced here before.
No, it was a good time. We had a lot of fun back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the old track. You got to come down and run the new track now. It's a lot bigger.
I want to, yeah. I was it's on my to-do list. I want to come and check out the carpet track and the new Intermountain place.
Yeah, Jeff's got a carpet car now, Jeff. Or, I mean, Tony.
Carpet car?
Yeah.
What?
Can you believe that?
Dude, they don't have carpet in Florida. They don't know what that is.
Exactly.
Well, you know, hey, first of all, see, Tony was trying to do a sales pitch on me to go Schumacher.
Of course.
Colin was doing his sales pitch on me to go Serpent because see, I'm a privateer. I have no loyalties to anybody, right?
Except
But
ACL.
at the end of the do I have loyalties there? I mean, the owner of the company's blocked me on Facebook. I'm off every chance I get.
There we go.
Like, anyway, so I have no loyalties in 10 scale, so I'm kind of just like weighing my options. And at the end of the day, it just came to whoever like sold me the car the cheapest because I'm a cheap bastard like that. So
Yeah, I think I'm out on that one.
yeah, I can't. All your guys is high maintenance and high fucking expensive shit over there.
Highfalutin.
I'm a poor white guy over here in the middle of nowhere. Can't afford that stuff.
If you cut down on the cheesecake, maybe you could get some parts.
That ain't happening. You know, we were talking about priorities earlier.
I think the four double
doesn't really entertain you. Like you don't care.
the
Don't
four
fuck
double
with my
Long
cheesecake.
Islands cost more than the cheesecake.
Yeah.
That shit were good too. Not gonna lie.
That probably gets you one of them little X6 chargers right there.
I know.
Zapping packs.
Tony, what are you doing in like 2 weeks, Tony? Is that your off-road race?
No, it's not till somewhere around Halloween. I don't
Oh,
really
okay.
know. We're just gonna go club race and dick around and act like we know what we're doing with carpet cars next weekend.
I was gonna say, come to Yakima. I got a car for you.
Yakima?
Yep, I got a car, engine, servos, everything ready to go.
Is it
It
blue?
won't finish a race, but he's got one.
It hasn't DNF'd all year.
Oh, man.
The loaner car has been great.
Is that the practice car?
No,
Yeah.
No, wait, there's more.
That's the one you TQ'd with practice.
Leader.
no, the car that I ran at the car I ran all summer, all season, is now the new loaner car.
And I can tell you this, it has the same Proline tires on it that he ran like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it still beats your ass.
I can't argue that.
So this thing's fully clapped out
No.
with some
I
shenanigans for tires on it.
I'll put fresh tires on it if you show up. How's that? Jesus Christ.
Will they stay glued, or what are we talking here?
Well, I can't promise that.
He buys the pre-mounts.
God, I hate gluing those tires.
I glued up a set today for tomorrow's
Oh.
race. That's no big deal.
On Advantage wheels.
Yeah.
They were carbon fibers.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was doing, so when I did Advantage, I was doing glues. Guess who was gluing them all?
You.
Yeah. I'm over it, dude. I'm over it.
You know, if I recall, though, your glue sucked.
I don't know. I worked hard at it. Mine all held together. Oh,
I'm pretty sure your glue sucked. I don't like it.
the glue itself?
Yeah.
Oh, it was super thin. Yeah, you had to be a ninja. But
I love the super thin glue. That's all I use.
My fat fingers didn't like it too much, I don't think.
oh, it's just getting all over the place.
You
all
end up with two fingers.
all up
Two
in the
really big
cheesecake.
ones.
That's funny.
What's that hard spot in the cheesecake?
No, come out in 2 weeks. I got you covered.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I've freaking just been making stuff as fast as I can.
This is what he tells all them guys that send him resumes every day. Yeah, maybe. We'll see one day.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
Right.
This is Tony being PC right now. Instead of just saying, yo, Colin, fuck no, I don't want to, because I don't care. I don't care about 8 scale. Like, it's too much work even just to drive there. Ain't happening. Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
See, Tony, I got you, buddy. I got you.
Just like you showing up at the carpet track for the first time was too much work for you.
No, that was awesome, because you did everything.
Exactly.
I get tired watching other people work on their cars. Makes me tired. I'm old and lazy now, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. It would be fun. I'll probably end up doing some nitro at some point if, we get some stuff rolling with this.
Oh, well, when LRP comes out with their 8 scale speed, you'll have to...
An 8 scale what? You broke up.
An 8 scale speed control. You have to come out, you have to go test that.
Oh, we have one. I have them right here.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know they did.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah, that requires running an e-buggy.
Oh,
E-buggy.
that class sucks.
E-buggy. Where every car is grossly overpowered.
Yeah. Yeah. By at least 100%.
Oh, man.
Hey, Colin's going to go run stock. He's going to become the next stock champion, so you got to get him some cool LRP stock motors that, are super fast.
Stock
I am?
8 scale e-buggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got any 1200 kV 8 scale motors for me?
Oh, Lord. That'll get people then filling the stands. Stock e-buggy.
Yeah, but they'd still be as fast as a nitro car.
Yeah.
Next on RCGP, stock e-buggy.
Yep. Yeah,
All right, well, I'm out. You guys,
Okay.
I'm bored.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope.
We've mentioned e-buggy too many times. I'm done. That's
it.
short
It
course.
said stock e-buggy. This show is officially fucking over.
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
We're done.
All right. Peace.
All right.
See ya.
See you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Yep.
All right, thank you everybody for listening to this week's episode of Trackwalk RC Podcast. This was episode number 20 for you. Huge thank you to my co-host and Tony Newland for coming on and talking to us. Was an absolute pleasure getting to get to know him a little bit more, and hopefully you guys all got to also. So with that, we're going to be back next week, episode number 21. That's going to be my last week on the podcast, so unfortunately that time's coming to an end. You guys are going to be with Colin and Jeff from that point on, but it's still going to be super fun, and cannot wait to see where the show continues on. So thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you next week.
Give me the dirt.